Okay, first project. There's quite a few projects in our pack today. This is our first little project. Isn't he cute? And as my niece said, he has M&Ms coming out of his butt. So that's rather cute. I think great for kids' parties or even just a gift. It's a great idea. So that shape can also make really anything. So this is another one I've done. This is featuring the blossom punch. And also some really small circles. This here is the blossom punch. Sorry, can't see that. There you go. So blossom punch cut off. So you can see what great treat boxes they make, and so easy. They're made out of a half of an A4. So you'll get this in your pack, half of an A4 sheet of card, cut lengthways. And along with that in your pack will come 8 circles for the shell, some antennae, and the cardstock. So let's get started, and we'll start with your large card to make the box. All you have to do is measure a halfway point, and that's at 2 inches. So we'll use the scoring board. 2 inches, and you make actually 2 1/8. Make a tiny little score. Switch it around and do the same. 2 1/8. Tiny little score. Now we have to fold it in half. That's folded in half. This is where it gets interesting. From that score line that we made at the top to the halfway mark, which is where we made the other score, we create another score line. Don't use the cutter. Done that before. From the 2 1/8 inch mark to the halfway mark, score again, and do the same on the other side. So from the 2 1/8 to the half of the cardstock, and the same. So effectively we're making a diamond shape in the scoring. That out of the way. You probably can't quite see the score lines. Oh yeah, there you go, some score lines. So now fold. And there we have a box. Really, really simple. With the opening, squeeze opening. To shut that now, or to make it into an actual box, we'll just use some sticky string. There we have it. Really, really, really simple. Out of a half a piece of cardstock. So a lot of boxes I find use stacks of cardstock, which can work out to be quite expensive, but this is super, super cheap, and if you're going to do a whole heap of them for a party, works out very inexpensive to make. So now we make the body. Now you can do one of two things. You can attach the shell to the small end, or you can attach it to the big end. I attached it to the bigger end, but I think I'm going to have a go at doing it at the other side. My niece made the suggestion, who's my filmer today, so I thought I might have a go at that, and that way you can see both examples. Oh, look at that, made a mistake. when you receive them, they'll be all cut the right shape. I've cut 2 at the same size. Oh, that one works. So here we go. Just to sit it flat on the floor for the last one, flat on the table, I just nipped a little part of the edge off. There we go. So that attaches here. And all it will take is one piece of sticky strip. There we go. How I did the antennae is I took my little strips, just used can you see, a pair of scissors, and then I just rolled the tops. That. I folded the very bottom edge just to get a nice straight antennae. Cool. That's excellent. Let's do the other one. How cute is he? I think the kids would be really excited to receive their treats in something like that. So very simple, very easy to do a whole stack of them together. Do your bases first, cut out all your circles, and then just have an assembly line and just do them all. But it wouldn't take very long to put them together. So that's project number 1. Let's get started on project number 2. Okay, so our first card project is this one here, our lion. Very, very simply, we are in the actual card, we use the blossom punch mostly. So this is a flower punch, and it also has a corresponding stamp set. So it's really handy to have anyway. But in this case, we're using it for the paws and mane of the lion. Also in the punch is the 3/4 punch, which is the cheeks, and the 1 3/8 punch, which is the face. So they're all good to have. And when you consider buying punches, you want to, particularly at the beginning when you're first building your stash, you want to buy things for multiple purposes. So if you've got some stamps that have round sentiments or other flower sets, to have a simple circular punch is very, very handy. If you want to get into, after today, if you want to get into punch art, one of the basic ones to have is your owl punch. So this actually features some things from the owl punch as well, the heart, the nose, which is a heart, and some eyes. So all of the cards today feature the owl punch. You'll see it more in the next couple, but that's a really, really good basic one to have. So if you're going to get into punch art, that would probably be my first purchase. And the fact that right from the word go, you can create really cool things with it. So that's the first one. So let's get started. Some of you on our class Facebook page, when I posted the sneak peek of this one, asked me how I coloured the edges, and I think it was Amy, you're right, I used a sponge. So just to sponge the edges, we'll do that to begin with. So the ink that we're going to use is the So Saffron, and when you buy sponges from Stampin' Up, they come in a set. I've already cut one up and I've got 2 that are spare. Try and keep a piece of sponge per ink. It's very handy to do that. Very, very simply, we open it up, grab our piece of cardstock and just ink. The inking just adds a little bit of definition to the piece when you're layering them. We have a face and some cheeks. Alright, I'll just glue them together. I'm just going to use glue dots for ease, but any of your adhesive will do. Okay, we layer the blossom planch. So I'm going to use the stripy side. One sheet of cardstock and you get, designer series paper, and you get 2 designs, so you can choose which one you want to do. I'm just going to layer it like that. So it's just slightly off. Go ahead and sponge the edge of them as well. Make it a bit quicker. Just scrape the edge of the sponge. Okay. Then we layer our face on our mane. I'm going to do that with dimensionals, just so it pops off a little bit, pops off the page, adds a bit of texture. And we're going to pop the nose on. Now the eyes. See that tiny, oh there you go. See that tiny, tiny old piece. So that's where tweezers come in really, really handy. I think I mentioned that in the class page. So now we can actually set up our card. So we have our DSP and our cardstock already folded. And I'm just going to layer that. I think I'm just going to corner around the edges. That's another one of your essential punches to have. If you don't have that and you'd rather spend your money somewhere else, when I was beginning I used to get a little circle or a coin even, and I just would lay the coin on the top of the cardstock, draw around it and cut. So you get a really, really nice round edge, and it's simple. And if you want to spend your money somewhere else, you know, when you're first beginning, but you saw how quick that was, so eventually it's something you end up getting, usually. So we have that, and I'm going to put a piece of sticky strip down and pop my ribbon down. I think that's why I use sticky strip quite a bit, because it glues things like ribbon and all sorts of things down. And then you just trim. Now for our frame of our lion. So that's that there. I think I might just make that just a little bit smaller. That's the size that you have in your kit, so you can have a play with it. And I'm going to corner around 2 of the edges. Awesome, like that. Stick that down, and I'll stick it down with some dimensionals. And of course some more for the lion. We like dimensionals. Give him a bit of dimension. Move all this mane forward. Separate them a little bit. Awesome. And we've got his paws. So using the blossom punch, all I've done is cut into it. Cut 2 paws and then just had them hanging over the edge. Like that. And I've switched the designer series paper around just so you've got the contrast. He needs eyes, obviously, but that's pretty much done. We're going to make a little knot in the ribbon. Got a little bit left over. And then I'm just going to glue that at the top. Again, for a little bit of dimension, something a little bit different. For heavier stuff, I think I mentioned this last time, the glue dots are excellent. They'll hold really, really well. And there we have it. So here we have our next card, You Make Me Happy, and we have a little zebra. So I'll just grab the gear that we'll be making this card out of. I've taken a photo of all the pieces that are in the set, and I've also taken a photo, I don't know if you've noticed here, but I've just shaded the areas I'm going to cut off. So although we don't use everything here, because I've just given you all the pieces from the punch, the owl punch, we won't use all of it. If you want to use some of the rest of it in the card, or if you want to make other cards out of it, feel free. Okay, so first of all, to make the card itself, so our half of A4 sheet. I've got my bone folder here, so I'll just use my fingers. And we have to cut our purple piece underneath, so I'll just trim that. Okay, so that goes perfectly on there, so I'll do that now. Now we have a piece of DSP, so I'm going to trim this down so it needs to have a little bit off the edge taking off and off the bottom, and then we're going to cut it into 3 pieces. use your judgment. You can really do whatever 3 sections you like, or you can have it flat if you prefer. It's completely up to you. Just for a bit of interest, I've done it that way, so I'll do that now. Your choice of glue, nice and simple. Excellent. It's always nice when it works out well. The stamp set in this one is from the Your Lovely stamp set, so we can put that on now. And I've used dimensionals to pop that sentiment up, and the sentiment is "You make me happy." And the ribbon. So make a nice little bow. I think I showed you last time, make 2 loops and then tie those loops together. So pretty little bow. And just use the glue dots. And trim. So here we go. You make me happy. So now we have to actually put our zebra in. So as I said, we won't be using all the pieces. This is the mane. So just to chop out of the mane some of those scalloped edges, just a V. Then we have, as the base, we have the ears and the muzzle, but we don't need the little feet, so they're coming off. Then we have the white part on the face. We cut off the ears because we've got the ears already. Now yours won't be shaded in, so you'll just have to look at the photo, the PDF that I'm sending out as well. I've taken photos of all our sheets today, so they'll be exactly as you've seen here. And the shading will be on each one, so. Out. So here we have the rest of the face, like so. Now we have the body, which is the other white piece. And all we have to do with that is chop that one off. Nice straight line. And that comes down here. Body. Mane, face. And I'm just going to glue them down. Okay, go. So you might notice that I've glued on everything, and I'm just about to put my last, you see that? My last stripe on. So, and I hang them off. So there you go. You can, I've given you a decent amount of black, so you can create more stripes if you want. But now I'm just going to trim them off. Really simple. Simply. So that's his head. Just do this last couple on his body. So there we go. Nice and simple. I'm using the Stampin' Up! Two-way glue pen. I think I mentioned that last time too. There you go. It's really good pen because or glue, because you've got quite a while to pop your piece down. And also, if you let it dry without oh, my brain's gone to mush. If you let it dry without sticking it on your project, you can use it as a mask. So it's removable. You can put it down and then move it up again. Oh, I told you tweezers were essential. His eyes are fiddly. There we go. Awesome. There we have our zebra. We can put two 2 white ones for the nose actually. In fact, what I'll do is I'll do this instead of actually trying to get it on the little tiny piece. Oh, that worked better. So there we go. We have a zebra face. Like that. Don't turn him upside down. Very, very cute. And now to our final card. Okay, last card. So our last card is our giraffe card. So I think it's my favourite actually. Like that. Very pretty. And I've already cut my DSP to trim, and I've put sticky strip on it. So I'll just pop that down. Like so. Okay, so, and I've used the opposite side, just so everyone knows. In your pack will come this little, I guess you could call it like a bookmark. It's a die that I have, and I've just cut some for everyone. It's no longer available, unfortunately. But if you ever need any, just let me know and I'll put them in your packs for you. So, so that just goes on the edge, and we pop it up with dimensionals. Some people use stacks, but they cost money, so I'll try and not to use too many. And as I mentioned in the last card, I've actually given you sentiments as well. So I've got the Oh Baby sentiment popped up, all ready to go, so you don't have to do anything. Put it on the right way. Excellent. So we have our base card all ready to go. In the pieces, it's a little bit fiddly. Again, I've given you more than you need. This is the neck, and this is another retired border punch that I have. And we're just going to lay that. I'm going to cut off from this edge. So you've got basically 1, 2 edges. I'm going to cut off into thirds. That gives us a nice mane on our giraffe. Nice strong adhesive right along the edge of our neck. All good. Now we have some circles from the owl punch, so we're going to pop them on there. Now don't always use the whole circle, because it just, I don't know, it looks too manipulated. If you have them just slightly hanging off, some more than others, and just trim them, it just, I don't know, not that it looks real because it's a cartoon figure, but looks more balanced. So that's the way I'm going to do it, and I'll stick them on and come back. Okay, so we have our neck. I've glued on our spots and just trimmed them, nice and easy. So now we're going to do our head. So we take the 2 bodies. We're going to cut off on the brown piece. We're going to cut off these legs, but we're going to keep them because they become the little, not that giraffe have an antenna, little horn tops. I think of, do they have antenna? No, they don't have antenna. So we have the muzzle, and we cut off the yellow ones, we don't need them ones, and we cut off the ears. Nice and simple. Now, in the pack, you'll get a piece from the bird punch, which is, can't quite see it there, the bird punch. If you notice, this is the punch that we could have used last week when we had the, last month from the polka dot pieces set. It's the same bird, it has all the elements, so that's another one that you might want to think about getting because it'll fit with the polka dot pieces stamp set that you already have. And in that set comes a piece of leaf, but we're not going to use it as a leaf, we're going to use it as ears. So we chop off, there's only one on this side, so we chop that one off. And on this side there's two, chop off the top one, I guess it's the middle one. And then we chop this. And we just round that a little bit just to make the ear smooth. Like that. You don't need all the length. One ear, next ear. So they go on like that. So we'll do that now. Okay, so here we have our little head with the ears on. And I've also added the dark eyes, so that's pretty basic. Just pop some glue down, pop your eyes on. So now we're going to do the little horns, and I've given you this little piece here. This doesn't come from a punch, I've just cut them out. So all I did was chop them in half. Oh. Not hard to do, like that. And if you stuff that up, I don't know how you'd stuff that up, but if you do, don't forget you've got some little leftover pieces, so don't panic. So now I just need to glue these on, like so. And then we glue the little feet, which we cut off before, on top. So I'm going to do that now. So there we have the little horns on there. Make sure you put them the right way. I actually turned them up the wrong way originally. I had to redo them. So the little horns, I've also added the nostrils, which I didn't actually put on the first one. So you don't have to put them on, but I think they add something a little bit extra. So we have our head and we have our neck. So now we just have to attach it to our card. Very, very easily. I'm going to put the neck on with sticky strip to make it the same height as the bookmarky piece, the die cut piece. Pop that on and pop the head off. I like to put it at a little angle, just because it looks cute. Okay, so there we have the card. Now we have the banners. You can put them wherever. I just thought they would look cute. Just hanging off the edge here to highlight our little giraffe. And all I did with them is used some glue dots. So again, glue dots. And I curl them up. And they actually come from the banner punch and banner set from the Celebration catalogue, from the Celebration sale. So you might get them free if you choose to. There we go, all done. Our two little baby cards, very cute. Oh, and they're not in the shot again. So I'm looking at them so intently, I'm not noticing that they're actually not in the shot. So something really simple, fun, doesn't take a lot of time once you've punched all your pieces out, but very, very effective, very, very effective. I hope you've had a good time and I will speak to you on Facebook. Bye.